Anti-Afro Spingalies. I want to talk about this word, weirdo. This is a common word that has been thrown around the Umar Johnson sector. And I thought I would talk about it because I think it holds a unique, significant meaning. While the front story is this word is right along in with all of the other features you see here on the screen, there's a backstory that I'm going to be addressing. The front story, it's a bunch of liars, losers, leeches, and users for content, or as you would say, YouTube uploaders in some instance. The backstory is what I'm going to focus on with respect to the term weirdo. I think the word weirdo and how it's been applied, it's been used as a slingshot word. Now, let me be even more specific. I am going to narrow down the word weirdo and the circumstance that I'm referring to. I'm referring to one particular YouTube uploader. I'll say YouTube uploader. That's something that Conscious TV made up. That means they don't have any content. That means they essentially steal everyone else's content. So I won't say content creator. YouTube uploader loves to use this word. And there's been another subject who got fired from teaching uses this word, weirdo. They love to apply this word to a certain person that has certain characteristics. And I see how each of those two subjects would choose a word like weirdo because it's a slingshot word. Now, when I say slingshot, say you're at a summer party, you're just chilling outside, everybody's enjoying themselves, and then all of a sudden you hear glass shattering. Someone has slingshot in to the party and they have crashed the punch bowl or one of the punch bowls, and the punch is all over the place. The glass is shattered. You got to have people come in and clean it up. That's going to divert your attention away from what you were doing. Everyone's going to be talking about it. Where did it come from? Who did it? Why did they slingshot into our party? We're enjoying ourselves. Now, when you leave the party, that's what you're going to be telling everyone. Someone slingshot into the party and hit the punch bowl and busted it, and it was whatever you're going to say about it. So I look at the word weirdo as being used in the exact same manner by these two subjects, wanting to take attention away from something that's bothering them about a particular person, the traits that someone has shown, the activities the person talks about, and most significant, interaction with family, relationships with family. Just as these two go ahead and make these statements based on lies, they make the statements as if they're facts, they're unequivocal, they declare them as unmovable realities. I can give an opinion based on information coming directly from the source. I can base it on what I see right in front of me. I can base it on direct evidence. I certainly can compare it to what they have said about their own families and what they've brought to YouTube and shown us and what they've said about their own families versus any other circumstance that they claim is reality. Now, the YouTube uploader who has a history of hijacking everyone's content, makes no content on his own, and takes down his content, has been making these statements for a while and made these statements having no relationship or minimal interaction with the person that he's targeting. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you the person they're targeting is Rev G. You don't even know him. But making these extreme declarations, these very harsh brutal, slanderous statements about someone you don't know. It's not reality when you're using this term, weirdo. There's something else going on. Not even knowing anything about a person, then saying you're going to call the police on them because you say they're a danger to children. This is what the other subject said. The one that got fired was saying these things. You don't know the person. What is it being based on? It's not based on reality. There's something else going on. And lo and behold, they reveal themselves. Where is this coming from? They see, they hear everything that Rev G does online. And Rev G, since he's been on YouTube, has involved his daughter in some way. And for those subjects out there who want to criticize people who have their children online by saying, well, they brought their kids online, they shouldn't complain that people are targeting them or talking shit about them. You should never have brought them online. Well, the federal government doesn't agree with you. The federal government slammed YouTube and Google with a fine in the amount of $170 million for violating the rights of children. Just because parents had their children on YouTube or allowed them to be on YouTube didn't give other people the right to take liberties, whether they're individuals or advertisers or whoever. But this is the rationale that these two subjects and others have used to be able to criticize and label a responsible father, an upstanding citizen, as a weirdo. But it is about family. Turns out she was the danger to children. She made the news. She was so dangerous to children and to parents. Try that one on for size. Just because a parent appears on YouTube with their children, just because they allow them on YouTube unsupervised, just because they're on YouTube doing any activity, doesn't give other people the right to swoop down and do whatever they want with that content or with that child's information. And the FTC spoke on that, fined Google/YouTube $170 million for violating the privacy of children. So it's ridiculous to say just because someone's child is on YouTube, you can do what the hell you want. That's what the drunken monkey did. Rev G had his daughter on YouTube with the conversation. You don't have a right to capture the child's voice and play it on your channel. That's exactly what the FTC fined Google and YouTube for. Now, like the news media does, if you have a child's photo online and you cover their face, that's not a violation. You can't see their face. You're not violating their privacy. You're not violating their rights. But we do know these types of issues surrounding family is why this term weirdo has been used. It's a slingshot word. So let's talk about what we know. What we know is we have these two subjects coming online. One of them speaks in extremely harsh and cruel manner about his daughter. The anger was so extreme that he came online and posted a picture. This is only one of other incidents that occurred. Was so angry at his daughter, who's a minor, just ragged and ragged and ragged on this poor child. I have that live stream, by the way. It was horrible. I couldn't actually listen a lot to it. I heard a little bit of it and I had to turn it off, but I did capture it. He posted photo of his daughter and son, and the daughter obviously was just as upset as he was when he described the situation. But he made sure he posted her photo to a group of adults and was ragging on his child to a group of adults. Contrast this to Rev G and how he interacts with his daughter. You don't see anything like that. Even when Rev G is correcting his daughter online, it's done in a way that's not vicious and abusive. Rev G isn't the one who proudly told a group of adults, this is on another incident, that he didn't like what his daughter was eating. He hated the way that their mother lets them eat what they want. He's just going on and on. See, this is coming from his mouth. It's not like what he was doing, all of a sudden going around to different live streams and we have these captions. He doesn't know that we have these statements that he's made about Rev G. I'm not posting them. They're very brutal, disgusting, and abusive. And they're lies. But this tells me this is why he treats Rev G the way he did. He's pissed. He's envious. He's jealous. He's resentful because of the relationship he has with his child. Is nothing like what he has with his child. Both of them are girls. So he comes on and tells the story. He was mad again. He's venting. And I'm going, damn, this is really bad. This is really bad. He's got a bad relationship with this child, and he has to come to YouTube and tell a bunch of adults about it? This is pretty sad for the child that her father is on here talking shit about her to a bunch of adults. It's not like he's saying, they better clean their room. They're not going anywhere this weekend. That's one thing. Parents say that all over YouTube. My kid's grounded, so I'm going to have to deal with them this weekend with all their griping. That is not the same thing as running 3-hour live streams where you're bashing your children and you're bashing their mother and you're bashing their lifestyle and you're bashing every aspect of your own child. But let me finish what I started out to say. He stated, after ragging about the eating habits, that the child got into a car. I guess they went to pick the kid up from school. Obviously, someone else did because he ain't got no car. We know that. And the child had like a mini bag of potato chips. And she was happy. She had the potato chips. And he snatched the potato chips out of her hand and ate them in front of her. That's the way a father is supposed to interact with his daughter? You don't hear Rev G doing any shit like that. So I know he does not like the fact that Rev G has a good relationship with this daughter. That's a point of resentment. So when they got home, the little girl didn't want to come to the dinner table. She refused to come to the dinner table. And he's saying, aren't you going to come to eat? She didn't want to come. She felt there wasn't a place for her at the table. And then this is when he starts to feel guilty. Oh my God. Listen, if you got a screwed up relationship with your child, that's your issue. It shouldn't be taken out on Rev G. So this explains this increasing anger that he has with Rev G. Rev G would show up on his channel and he would just converge on him. They've never had a conflict. Rev G never said or did anything to him. And then there are other situations culminating with this subject, this YouTube uploader allowing a photograph of Rev G's daughter when she was 15 years old to be placed on the screen. Actually, let me clarify that. As the channel holder, you are the one that puts the photo on the screen, like the message. Nobody else controls that but the channel host. So the message appeared in the chat. There was a responsible father, an appropriately sound mind and body and spirited father who deleted the comment because the comment made reference to an adult male impregnating a minor and used the photo of Rev G's child at age 15. Not only did the YouTube uploader post that picture, he read the statement not once but twice. So you have resentment not only towards Rev G, you've got resentment and anger towards his child. I see this video's at 15 minutes. I'm not done. I think I might have 20 more minutes to go, possibly. So catch part 2. It's going to go up at the same time. In the meantime, buyer beware.